Got another document here from the American Capital Resource Group in Atlanta, Georgia. Subject: Mandela Apartments, Roxbury, Mass. To Dear Mr. Murad, upon analyzing Mr. Robert F. Monroe, CPA, worst case scenario for projected 1996 earnings for the subject project, ACR would be able to refinance to project an approximate amount of $9 million?
That's correct. I made that statement in court under Judge Kenner. Give me a chance for 90 days. Do not appoint a trustee. I'm able to refinance, reorganize, and go forward toward tenant ownership. All I need is a court to protect me on the taxes and tell me what amount of taxes I owe on the formula. And she understood that. I think they knew all along I had the capabilities of bringing the dollars to the table and pay all the creditors. Unfortunately, right now with the trustee, everyone's going to lose. The creditor's going to lose, the tenant's going to lose, I already lost, and this is a total suicidal mission.
Well, Al, the question I get that we just saw from the American Capital, zoom in on this, Wendy, which is saying that you would have had the ability through American Capital Resource to come up with $9 million. Obviously, it's not a question of money. Now the question that comes forth is that there are the powers that be had already made the decision before your hearing. It would appear that way. The question that comes forth now, the BRA and even Judge Kenner,
The City of Boston,
and HUD, was there collusion? Was there a major conspiracy to not just take out Al Murad, but did they want to take out Al Murad because Al Murad was in the way of some other agenda? And I noticed that as I look at this article here in the Boston Globe, old world, new money clash in North End. Zoom in on this, Wendy, if you can. This shows a whole new movement that has happened in the North End, whereby you have the old traditional, the traditional concept of the family. A lot of families have been displaced in the North End.
Couple for being daring and for her approving that tax credit for the Mandela residents. But that tax credit is fraud. The Jane Campbell would be litigated. Jane Campbell, she knew by tax state law that Stephen Gray, who committed perjury, that who might be indicted, and he will be investigated by the BRA, he was not the owner of the land and the buildings to qualify for state tax credit. Stephen Gray was the manager. Although Judge Kenner discretionary made him an acting owner on the state level, and they said this whole thing is a sham. He said if you go back to the state court and litigate, there is a question whether Stephen Gray ever qualified for the tax credit. So how corrupt, Governor Cellucci, your office, yourself, and Gene Campbell, and Mayor Menino, and Howard Cohen, and Saul Shapiro, that you're all proud of, that he supposedly who put Al Murad into the bankruptcy, and he's the one who stole the seed funds, was allocated back in 1986, equivalent to $2 million by the BRA, so they could buy the developments from me, and they would own it outright. And he ended up to take $1 million of legal.
Thank you, Chuck. Governor Cellucci, you notice I used the word acting. I was there. He's using the same playbook, let me tell you. Representative Fox, Representative Byron Russian, ladies and gentlemen, and Glenn, I'd like to talk to you about the investments in Roxbury. You gave a great, compelling talk this morning, and we will talk about our investment in this community over the last 4 years. It's my pleasure really today to be here to really celebrate the rehabilitation of the Mandela homes. And what does this rehabilitation means. It means rehabilitation of neighborhoods. People having the opportunity to live in a decent, sanitary, safe house. And why did that happen? It's because of the perseverance of the residents over so many years. I can remember getting all those letters that came into my office about the concerns about those units. But people came together on this issue. The state, the city, the private sector, and the tenants who drove the issue. And so today is a real celebration of a partnership of rehabilitation of 3 different housing developments within the city of Boston. I hope I'm standing here in the next few months to announce more projects like this, where we're creating housing because we desperately need it. You know, when they talk about homelessness in the city of Boston, they're only talking about the numbers that are in the shelters. What about the numbers that are doubling up or tripling up in apartments in Dorchester, in Roxbury, in Hyde Park, in South Boston? That's homelessness also. For those people are fortunate enough to have relatives who will take them in. We do have a crisis in America on affordability. In Massachusetts, we're dealing with it. We're dealing with it in an effective manner. We have to do more. We need this collaboration that we have here this morning, this celebration of 276 units for people who deserve decent housing. Thank you very much.
About its business. It's basically about the dollar. When the land becomes too expensive for the poor to occupy, then it's time to move them out. It's supply and demand. Now, why would you want to keep affordable housing?